And then
Yeah.
if you could send it to us, that would be really good.
Okay.
Yeah, you want us to send it to you, so we want to sort of walk through some of the stuff that we've done and are planning on doing?
Yes. In specific, tell me what has happened first before we go into the planned two. What has already happened?
Yeah, one of the big projects is probably 90% done, and that's approaching a $3 million investment in our garage to with some of the concrete and the rebar. As you can probably, if you get off on floor or enter on 2.5, that's one of the last sections we have to work on. That was almost $3 million in the last year and a half. We're going to finish that when session ends. This summer, we're about to go out to bid to repave all the driveway and the sidewalks around the Capitol and the LOB this summer.
Are you going to pave the sidewalks or do new concrete?
Well, we're going to put it out to bid. We're going to see what some of the vendors think. So I don't know, but I would imagine it'll probably be concrete. But we're gonna let some vendors throw some ideas at us. That's probably a $4 to $5 million project this summer.
And you have money for that already?
We have funding for that. Yes, we do. Another big thing that we're working on is the Capitol boiler, one of the boiler replacement in the Capitol. Backup generators for the LOB and the Capitol is going to be happening hopefully within the next year. We're going to put that out to bid as well. And you saw some of the smaller things.
Yeah.
The carpet, the concourse flooring. I knock on wood, you're not seeing any more trash cans for leaks in the LOB atrium. We have just completed about a month ago the about $2 million project for the stained glass in the Capitol, what's up, the east and west. That looks gorgeous if you've seen it. So those are some of the projects we're working on right now.
Can you send us the list of the projects in the order that the ones that are already done, how much it was? So, because we know that we've been putting dollars in and we really want to get the work done here. It's really a shame if we're not getting things done correctly. And we want to ensure that it's going to happen. And then you already have planned to go out things that you have money for already, right?
That's correct. And another thing that we're working on that you don't really see is some of the IT upgrades that's happening in both chambers, networks, strengthening the Wi-Fi. So there's been a significant investment in that, and which is also ongoing.
Yeah, the Wi-Fi is now available throughout the parking lot. If you recall, over the last couple of years, especially during COVID, many legislators have had to sit in their cars for an extended period of time, but we've only had a couple of spots that were Wi-Fi accessible. So now IT has created a scenario where where Wi-Fi is available, basically in every parking spot, if the cause is for that again. So it's available.
And that's in the outside parking. That's not obviously in the confines of the garage, right?
Correct.
Because the confines of the garage just don't have the capacity to go through the concrete walls. Is that true?
Yeah, you might get spotty service out there here and there, but not going to get solid service out there.
And then with the police department, we've really upgraded the dispatch center and the number of sort of security cameras on campus, particularly around the Capitol. We've added, I think, 10 to 12 cameras on poles along Capitol Avenue and Trinity Street. It looks really great. So now the police are able to monitor everything, a much larger scope of field that they can monitor the grounds and a little bit off of the grounds as well.
And do you have those directional signs coming in so that when I go to the capital preservation meetings that I'm not hearing about the directional signs? Are they going to go up anytime soon?
We have to, we've been working with the city of Hartford. They've had some feedback on those signs, on those sort of the look and feel of them. So that's ongoing, but we're going to be doing that, but we just sort of have to meet some of their, I guess, their regulations, if you will.
So
street
you're
signs.
trying to torture me for a few more meetings? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, we love having you at those meetings, so we want you to come to every meeting.
That would not be true. And what do you, and then you talked, about another bond request that you were gonna need?
You know, we're scheduled to go, we just received it from OFA. Mike Erickson sent us it a few days ago. Eric Michael Gray sent us some information that we're going before the bonding subcommittee late next month, maybe March 26th, March 29th, one of those days. We're, you know, we received a large chunk of money last year for the big project, which is the Capitol exterior restoration of the state capitol, gilding the dome, getting the Genius back on top. We received 35 million last session, and we've reached back to the architectural and engineering consultants to sort of look at those numbers again, and just as inflation and the cost in the construction industry, we may be going back next month to ask for a little bit more money for that project. I don't think 35 million is not going to be enough for the exterior renovation. So we're looking to refine an additional ask. And frankly, maybe depending on what we do with carry forward money, maybe what we do with some of our minor capital and equipment money, we may ask for, based on this consultant report of the elevators, some bond funds for the elevators, because it's probably going to be about $8 million for the escalators in the Capitol, the elevators, the travelators, and I call it the people mover. So we might go with bonding for that as well.
But we're gonna need to see all of it sort of in writing so that we can say, this is what we committed already, this is what this is gonna do. Because we need to make sure that things are actually getting done with the money that we have put out there. And when is your anticipation for the Genius to be back up?
That's a little TBD, to be determined. I know we've had some conversations with you about that, and maybe with the preservation group with the, I don't know how to pronounce that anniversary that's coming up. It's a very long word. The
250th? 250th?
Yeah. So,
That's not hard to say. We can say it's the 250th.
well, I was just trying to say
Sesquicentennial?
person, tent, or whatever. I'm not sure how you say it. It's too big of a word for me. It's like
I think
Latin.
it's a semi-sesquicentennial.
There we go.
There we go. That's right up Neil's alley, right there, that
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
We're gonna take Neil's words.
Yeah, but I would think, Senator, that, you know, with the restoration of the exterior of the Capitol, we have to, you know, that it's not something we would do first. The Genius, that would probably be, I might even be the final touch, I'm not sure, but certainly later in the process, I believe. Be my
So is
guess.
that not out to bid?
Not yet, no.
When do you plan? Because this is one of those things that should be out to bid as soon as possible. Otherwise, we're not gonna get it done.
I think
And we
Paul was
really
just-
miss the mark if we get it done in 27 or 28.
Yeah.
Would not be good. It would just look foolish. So can you like push that to the top of your pile so that we know it's gonna get out there?
Yes.
I mean, if we slow walk it, you might as well slow walk it for another decade. But let's try to get this done so we can get it out, get it completed.
And it sounds like a 2-year project, plus 2-year plus, according to our facilities manager.
Well, the longer we wait, the longer that 2 years is gonna be, and the more expensive it's gonna get. So we gotta get it out sooner rather than later, so that we know it's getting done. You know? It's not something we wanna take our time with. We're gonna have a national 250th party, and we're gonna have everything looking half-assed, then, you know, that's a choice we make. But if we're gonna push it, we should really push it. So,
Message received.
say it again.
I said message received.
Thank you. Capital Daycare Center. We had a lot of talk about this last year when we were stepping out of the daycare center. Apparently, it was my responsibility to go there and tell them they had no money. So then we had a meeting with them, and Tony was telling them how good they were, and I'm the one telling them that they need to suck it up. And the woman starts crying, and they're doing this. So let's get this situation resolved. How much does this daycare center cost out of legislative management, and what exactly does it pay for?
It's less than $250,000, probably more like 220.
Yeah,
I just reached out to them yesterday. They're up to 47 kids, 47 children, which is, in the summer of 2022, it was like 18 kids.
right.
So they've really added a lot of kids. What that covers is rent, electricity, maintenance, right? So we send over SMG for cleaning and stuff like that, and then a small amount on things like phone service. But it's mainly rent is the largest portion of that 220-ish thousand, and utilities.
And you know what the rent is?
The rent right now, we're operating on a month-to-month basis with them. So because we're not really sure what the legislature wants to do with that, we have not entered into a long-term agreement. And it's probably I think the total rent is I'm trying to remember the number. It's give me a second on that.
So can you give me the prices on all of this on a monthly basis, and then the yearly costs so that we have it? And then where would it still be in its own line item? You want to move it out of OE? Do you have enough in OE to move it out?
Yeah, I mean, if we can move, right, some of that 3 million that the governor proposed cut to OE and equipment, yeah, I would recommend that you eliminate the CCD line item, and then we just cover that 220,000. I think the rent is about $100,000 a year total. So divide that by 12. What's that like? Not eight or 9,000 a month.
And are the kids over there, any of the kids from legislators or other folks?
I did not ask that question yesterday when I communicated with them, but about a month ago, it was, I believe, 8 to 10 children who are for people who are affiliated with this building, either staff or maybe lobbyist kids.
I don't think there's any legislative.
I don't think there's any legislative.
There is staff. Staff kids.
Could be staff, right, Jim?
Yeah,
So it's 220,000, about 100,000 for rent, and the rest is to cover electricity, maintenance, and cleaning and phone services. And you want this just out of OE, or you want it in a separate line item?
In OE, please.
And can you give me the number of kids now that are related in any way to the OLM umbrella?
Yep.
we'll get that.
And I would also suggest, if we're talking about, I would take the translators. I would move that into OE, and you can keep the 150 if you move it into OE. You can cut the 150 and just move the line into, get rid of the line, and we'll cover it in OE.
Okay. to move, OE, the 150 up to, OE.
Then the Wall of Fame, if you want to do that one. I know that's near and dear to you.
It is, and I'm gonna, continue the, statues and, like, carry that forward to be used in, 25.
Okay.
Someday, John Mason will disappear. If it ever happens that all your cameras go out and the statue has disappeared, it just happened, I don't know. There's a
Just happened.
reservoir in
Yeah.
Sprague that, that's deep enough for the statue to be in the middle. Okay. So that for sure. Peter, do you have anything?
No. Like, the one thing was,
We just gotta get that done. This has to happen. That's the other thing. We're gonna bring our own, crane and we're gonna lift the damn statue up and we're gonna put it up there.
there are people who don't want to do
There are people that know how to do this.
Hmm.
Doesn't happen to be me, but well, people know people. We want to get that done. Is anybody else, Cindy, do you have anything?
No, I'm gonna be, just so you know, back and forth between GGB and this, so
Okay.
thank you.
Anthony, do you have anything?
No, I'm sorry. I heard a little conversation about the elevators, but I was cut out when I was coming through the underpass. Could you just share what we're doing as far as fixing the elevators?
We need $8 million to fix the elevators.
Okay, so right now we're gonna continue to be without 2 other elevators until that's done.
Yeah, there's no parts.
Okay.
The problem
I
is,
mean, we
Go ahead.
have, the vendors called Schindler. They've been here virtually every day for the last 2+ weeks. They're working on them. What they're doing is just trying to candidly get them to work, but long term, they need significant modernization and significant motor replacement. A lot of stuff has to be replaced. We just had a representative known. We just had a consultant come in who was supposed to have this report done for us. We engaged them back in last summer. They were supposed to be done with the update and status report on the elevators and the travelators and stuff like that. And we didn't receive it until about a week and a half ago, and it's still in a rough draft. The consultant says that the elevators are well maintained, but that the breakdowns that are happening are bigger structural issues with parts and equipment that need to be replaced. And they gave us a 22-page report on what we should do with the elevators, and it's going to take some time because they have to be shut down for some of them for a month or 2 or maybe longer to have the guts removed and replaced.
well, they're down now, so it doesn't make any difference. They're
Yeah.
gonna be down for another length of time.
Well, one of the issues, right, in the industry is, I found it hard to believe, but the consultant also said it, as did Schindler, is supply chain with some of these components that we're trying to get. We've been waiting, as you guys, everybody on this call is well aware that you don't hear the bells and whistles and what floor it is, and we're about ready to pull our hair out as they keep telling us for 10+ months now that those electronic components and those circuit boards and those semiconductor boards are not available. And we're as much as you hear about the elevators, we hear it 100 times more. So we're well aware of it. We went to their headquarters. I went there 2 weeks ago, met with their Schindler's vice president, and
Did they have an elevator?
the building that we were in did not have an elevator. And I I threw out a lot of legislators and important people's names to try and move the needle with them. They were,
It's only in this building that that legislators are important. Schindler could give two shits about any of us. Don't know who we are.
It
Say
does
our
appear
names.
that is a fair
Who in God's name
characterization.
is that?
Yes, that came through in that meeting. I tried your name,
I
Senator.
could have
I
told
said
you that
Senator
before
Austin.
them. Yes,
I name dropped you.
yes, and they said, who in God's name is that? I would use the F word, but we're online, so I won't. I think sometimes people think too much of themselves, so let's just say for the fact we need to get them fixed so all of us can get our job done.
Don't call her Senator Osteen.
Yeah, I know, right, exactly.
I think one of the
Okay.
guys might have known you from one of the pancake breakfasts. He heard your name from what Fin Fern Feather.
Yeah.
Oh,
I haven't
God.
been there lately.
Yeah.
All right, my next, my,
Oh, but-
my,
I'm sorry, I can say that Brian Pence, our facilities manager, is on this regularly, daily, trying to keep on these guys to make something happen, especially out here this time of year to make sure we have
Right.
at least 2 elevators running. So
Well, when
that
I
we can-
came in, we were down to one elevator, so.
there was somebody here working on the other one, so hopefully that'll be fixed when we're out of here. It'll be done before we're done with this meeting, but I'm not sure about that.
And Jim, do we
and
need to?
what about the rear of the Capitol, the back stairwell, the stairs, that go down to the parking lot? Is that going to be paved or re-cemented? Is
Talking
that
about the
in
north
the,
steps, represent the north steps looking out at Bushnell Park.
yes,
Yeah, that's all part of the restoration process, project. No, actually, part of our paving project, which will be going on, in the next year. This summer, hopefully it should be. We're out for bid yet, or we're going on?
We're about to go out to bid this week or next week for the sidewalks and and all the parking lots and the driveways on the LOB and the Capitol.
And by May, we're gonna be out to bid to put the Genius back up.
okay. So that will be an event.
Yes, that will be an event.
Senator, there's a few things that have to be done before the Genius goes up. A few things. May is ambitious.
Okay, all set, Senator.
Maybe we still need to get it done.
I don't know if it's. Or what?
Peter and I are saying it's not really a sin. It's not quite a virtue, but it's ambitious and
It's a good thing.
it's a good thing to be ambitious.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Good.
We appreciate your support in all this, obviously. It's been really
What's going on? Flag restoration, you have enough money in flag restoration?
I'm sorry, you want, so.
Do you have enough
we-
money in flag restoration?
Yeah, one of the issues with flag restoration is you can count on like one hand the number of people in this country that work on flag restoration.
I
So
know.
we have a person now, I believe you met him at one of the preservations meetings, his name's Matthew, who is working on the flags. He's terrific. He's a Civil War sort of buff, maybe even a historian of it, and he's doing a great job with the flag. And we have a flag or two that are sort of coming and going in the restoration process. It's a lengthy process, but it is a challenge to try and spend $65,000 a year on flag restoration because of just sort of how long the process is.
Okay. And you want that $3 million to go to the minor capital improvements line, Jim?
A little, we can break it down with, I'll send it to Mike Erickson, but a breakdown with, we can do OE and equipment, maybe a little minor capital. We're flexible on that. Sure.
Well, give me an idea and then what's gonna happen with it, okay?
Yeah, we'll send you everything. See if you have our
Yep.
thoughts.
Yeah, Chris, will you send it to me too? Please,
Of course. Yes.
thank you.
And I, again, I want to make sure that there's enough money in PS to give whatever the raise is to the umbrella of OLM.
Yeah,
There is,
that definitely is money there, and we will do that, certainly.
Do we need to put something in writing saying that that will happen? Because in past years, it didn't happen.
You know, the last few years, it's been fine. It hasn't been really an issue, so I think we're okay.
Okay, well,
I haven't had any discussions to the contrary, so I think we'll be okay.
Mike, we may need to come up with some language that says that they will get forwarded any raises in accordance with CBAC. So I just want to make sure that we have something there. I think our staff broadly get left out of some of the things that happen in other areas, and I want to make sure that we're doing that, because then it seems to me our leadership, the chiefs, become very tight with money for our guys.
We have budgeted 3% merits and 2.5% COLAs
Okay,
for 25.
okay. Is there anything with? You're right. I saw the auditors were on. Did they have anything? We didn't change the budget at all, did we? And then the Commission on Women, Children, Seniors, Equity and Opportunity. Do we have a new director yet?
No, we are actually in the interview process right now. I believe the first rounds are either taking place at the moment or about to take place, and we hope to have somebody on board in the next 4 to 6 weeks.
Okay, great. That'll be great. And then is there anything that either one of those need beyond what we have here? Hey, John.
Yeah, John just popped in, Madam Chair.
John.
Good morning.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well.
I'm looking at your budget. Is there anything else that we need to do here?
Just leave it as it was.
Okay,
You know, we can't absorb the lapse as we traditionally have in the percentage that we traditionally done it.
okay. We don't want the lapse for you anyway, so,
Well, that's good.
all right. That's where we are. Anybody have any questions for John Garagosian?
I want to introduce our new state auditor if he can figure out how to get on the Zoom meeting. Yeah. And thank you for all the, the carry forwards and everything else. Our IT and computer projects are moving along. We hope to have a new auditing system up in the spring.
Okay, great.
So it's going well.
Good. Well, Craig Minor, tell him he has to come out of the northwest corner to figure out how to use his computer, or he already forgot. He used to be on Zooms all the time with me.
I'm gonna have him come into the picture.
Stretch the string really tight between the telephone poles, Kathy. You live in the other corner where there's no Wi-Fi.
He is.
Gotta
Very
bend down.
Even though he participated via Zoom over the years, does not mean.
I'm on the wrong side.
Hello, Senator.
I'm on the how are you, Senator?
I'm well, thank you. Congratulations on your appointment. I don't know if we've approved you yet, but I'm pretty sure that you'll get through.
John,
I may have to say a few things.
Maybe vote no, Kathy, just because we can.
No, I would not vote no on him.
Oh, I know.
All right, so next time I'll be able to get in on the Zoom. This time I wasn't.
All right.
But obviously we're happy to answer any questions you have.
We don't have any questions, we just like make sure you have enough funding.
Wow.
Is there anybody here from Commission on the World?
Yeah, well, we can take care of them, Senator.
Okay,
Have a nice day.
bye guys, thank you. All right, does anybody have any other questions from what we have? And we'll get a list of the capital projects, whether they're in minor capital, completed, on the way, or whatever process they're in, and how much bond money you have, what's already RFP'd out and starting to be spent, even the Genius, and what else you need.
We'll get the deal.
$8 million, and you need another for the elevators and other movable things, and then another 2 or 3, whatever, with that 35 million you need to finish that.
Great.
All right.
So I just want to point out for the commission that $80,000 was added to their budget for a position for, I believe, a nutritionist, but the position itself was not added. The position
Where?
count wasn't changed, so we should, maybe OFA can bump up the position count for the commission from 8 to 9, because there's
Okay.
80, you have a write-up in the OFA sheets that adds $80,000 for a nutritionist. But we need to add the position.
Okay, Mike, did you get that?
Yes, I got that. I can add that.
Thank you, appreciate it.
That person has started, Senator, about a month and a half ago.
Say it again.
That position has been filled, and there was a person in that position as of about a month and a half ago.
Okay, great, we'll fix that. Anthony, are you in the building now?
I am in the building now. Are you in your office here or next door?
In the LOB?
All right, I'll stop down there.
Okay, great. And is Brian available to stop down? Chris?
Ryan's out today, actually, Senator.
Oh, is he? Because Anthony and I want to meet with him. Anthony and I want to meet with him in the veterans concourse section, because Anthony has a couple of ideas for other either statuary or plaques, and I told him that we don't usually put the money in the budget at all for that, so we need to figure that out, but I'd like to talk to Brian about it and figure that out.
Yeah, he should be back in tomorrow. If not, certainly next week. He'll be back in on Monday.
Okay, right.
Probably tomorrow, though, I would imagine. So let me know. Just give me a shout or text me. We'll get him, or Chris, or we'll get him down there for you.
Thank you. And Eric has a big event happening on the last week in April.
Okay.
And we want to make sure that where we stand on that for Red Dress Day. And I know that they were planning on putting red dresses around to talk about missing and murdered Indigenous women. And I don't know if we're using the concourse for anything like that. Has that policy been updated?
At the moment, we're not using the concourse, just as we work through the process of permanent displays in the concourse, which we're almost at the finish line on that one. But what is the event? I'll look into the event. What's the event?
So, Kathy, let me just jump in real quick and add a little more background. I believe that we have already spoken to your office, and I think the North Hall of the Capitol building is what has now been reserved, if I'm not mistaken, because of the ongoing policy change with the use of the concourse. So, but if we could verify that, maybe it has not officially been booked, but I think my legislative aide is Eileen Connard, and I think she spoke with someone. It's Connard, Eileen Connard. I think she spoke. I know she spoke with someone in your office about the date, and it is that last full week before Sine Die, before we gavel out. So I can have her reach back out to you guys if you think that would be helpful.
You talk to Liz or someone out front. I'm sure it's, but we'll check after the meeting.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you for mentioning that. I appreciate that.
Want to make sure it's done. I don't want to show up that day and have the women here and,
Right. Right.
and not have everything all done, so.
Yeah, it's a pretty significant event that I think if we collectively, if we do it right, it will be a kind of the standard bearer for what should be done nationally in recognition of this pretty serious problem with indigenous people. And of course our two tribal nations are fully behind this and want to lend their full support as well.
If we have any questions, we'll reach out to Arlene if we have any questions.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Senator.
Anybody else have anything? Susan Keene, did we forget anything?
No, ma'am, I think you've covered, much of what we've discussed
All righty.
amongst ourselves.
Peter,
All's well with the world.
Eric, all set?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Anthony?
I am all set. Just an extra thank you to Susan for always keeping us on the right path.
Representative Callahan?
I'll second
or
that for sure.
I'm
I'm good. I'm sorry. I'm in a doctor's office. That's why I've been off screen. Thank you.
Okay. Representative Exum, anything?
Nothing to add. Thank you so much.
All right, we're all set, guys.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
Have a great day.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.